Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I want to do is to talk about two sort of mid-level high horology brands. One is Blancpain and the other one is Chopard. These two watch companies are different in a lot of ways. Blancpain is part of the Swatch group. Chopard is pretty much independent. The differences, there are some other differences too, but what I want to look at is that I want to look at sort of one of the watches from each one, sort of going back and forth, different types of watches, and then looking for watches that might be able to be the same brand and so forth, but they're a lot less expensive, and maybe they're sort of an earlier model of the same watch, or they're the same watch, and you can find big discounts on them on the secondary market. So let's take a look at these. Now, the first one is probably the most famous of the Blancpain, and it's the 50 Fathoms, 50 Fathoms automatic. It's caliber 1315 and 120 hours. It's 4 hertz and it has a silicone balance spring. Now it's $19,200. That's for mid-price these days. They seem to be going up a lot. And an earlier version of the 50 Fathoms that I found, the reference number on it is 2200 1130-71. This one has a caliber 1151 in it, which is somewhat different. It's got 100 hours instead of 120 hours. This is before they put in the silicone hairsprings, but the price is only $6,000. Now, another one, when I was looking around for this, I found a GMT model that was available on eBay for $5,250. So that's something else you might. It's a 50 Fathom, but it's one with a GMT. Why it would be less, I'm not sure. Okay, that's the first Blancpain. Now, Chopard is for Louis Chopard. The LU, and all of the LUC models have an in-house movement, and so I'm only going to be looking at Chopard LUC, and that's pretty much the top of the line. And so let's take a look at these. The first one I want to look at is called the LUC GMT1, and I like this watch a whole lot. The MSRP on it is $10,100, but I found an offer for $62.26. This is one of the things about Chopard, is that you can find pretty good deals on the same or similar version of it. For example, on the black edition of the same watch, it's got a textile band on it instead of a gaiter or a leather band. I found one of those for $8,058. Now this is down from $10,000, but I mean, I happen to like the other version, the original version, the GMT1. I guess they call it regular. I like the looks of it. I like the orange. There's sort of a burnt orange in some of the things, and everything else about it. It's just a very, very cool watch. And it's the other thing. The GMT is very clear. It's got a little little date window down at 6 o'clock. It's got 2 stems, one for setting the GMT time and the other for regular time. Very good buy, especially at $6,226. It pays to shop around. Look at the secondary market. Okay, now back to Blancpain. This one is called Villeray Quantime Complet. I just love this watch. It's the list price on it is $15,700. And it's automatic. It's got the 72 hours, 4 hertz, date. In fact, I think just about all of the Blancpain are 4 hertz. There's one at 5 hertz. So same with the Chopard. I think they're all 4 hertz except one at 3 hertz. We'll see. Now this watch, I just like it. I just like the arrangement of it. Usually you get a really crowded dial with a quantum, but this one I think does a really nice job. The way everything is laid out. I like the way that the hand date is sort of got a little hand like this. Now on one of the older models, this is it's got a caliber 6763 instead of the 6654.4. Automatic, 100 hours, a little longer. Date, month, hours, seconds, moon phase. 37.6 millimeters. So you can round it up to 38. Now, some people like that size, a little smaller, but not, 36, real small. And for this one, I found between 5,500 and 9,000. And the thing to look for at the end of the hand date is a little crescent moon, like a little cup. I like that too. I like both of them. And instead of having center seconds, it's got small seconds down at 6 o'clock, right below the moon phase. The old second hand goes right over the moon phase. And then it's got the date, a little different placement on them. But boy, the price difference is, you can save 10,000 bucks on a watch. Why not? Okay, the next one is going back to Chopard. This one, the Chopard, is the Time Traveler one. I love this watch. This is my problem. I like too many watches. Now, I've been looking for a world timer travel watch, and man, I tell you, this one would certainly come under consideration. Again, you've got two crowns on there, or two stems really, to set the world time and set the local time. It's got a sort of on the inside track, it's got a hand date in there, and then you have the regular time, the hour and the minute hand for your whatever country you're setting it for. This is a very, very cool watch. I like the looks of it. Now I found one. Again, they have this black limited edition. Now this one is 14,000. That's the MSRP. But I found one for 10,640. These are brand new prices. You can probably find better deals on the used market. Now I found another one. This one is a limited edition. It's called the LUC Time Traveler 1 Black Limited Edition. This one I found for 11,250. So there are discounts all over the place on these watches if you just look. Now this next one, this Blancpain, this one is very interesting in so many ways. First of all, it's a chronograph, and it's got a movement called the F388B. It's automatic. Thing runs at 5 hertz, 36,000 semi-oscillations per hour. Column wheel flyback, hours, minutes, small seconds. Typical chronograph, $20,100. Okay, that's pretty steep, but it's a very cool watch. I like the fact that it has 2 subdials instead of 3. Now, the one with 3 subdials, it's called the Air Command Trilogy Flyback Chronograph. The first one is just called the Air Command. I think this is a point when Blancpain was the 50 Fathoms they were hoping to sell to the Navy, and the Air Command to the Air Force. Okay, so let's take a look at a better deal, a much less pricey one. Now, the one I found was $7,882, and for that price is a lot less, almost a third of what a new one would cost. Now, the caliber is very interesting. It's a Frederick Piguet 1185 base to the caliber F185 on the Chopard. Now, the interesting thing about it, before, who was it? Swatch bought Blancpain. It was actually owned by Frederick Piguet. Okay, so when they bought Frederick Piguet, they sort of got Blancpain in the deal. There was a time when one of the other ones owned the other one. Very interesting kind of relationships. 78.82, huge savings. And this is the interesting thing. Here, the new one runs at 5 hertz. This older one runs at 3 hertz, 21,600 semi-oscillations per hour, goes for 50 hours, but it's got the chronograph, the same kind of chronograph, column wheel, flyback, and so forth. I think that's a heck of a good deal. Now, I'm not a fan of chronographs, but were I looking for one, this would certainly come on the radar, more so than the one with the one that was far more a lot faster, burning up the dial. Okay, now finally, this last LU Chopard, or it's actually a LUC Chopard. This one is called the LUC 1937, brand new, $8,110. And 42 millimeters is sort of a big boy. And this is COSC, it's a chronometer. I sort of look at the simpler watches as sort of like, well, this is sort of like, I always think Calatrava. Well, Calatrava would just have the hands, the hour and minute, and probably wouldn't have the date on it. But it's that nice, simple, just sort of a good, clean, clear watch, and I like it. Now, though, what I found an LUC 1937. They refer to it as a classic for $51.71. This was on Chrono 24. It's pre-owned from 2015. So again, here you have a big savings, $3,000 on that, and it's the same model and everything else. One of the things I think you'll find, some watches coming out of Asia, I've noticed, are bigger ones. The Japanese and Chinese and a lot of Asians prefer the smaller size. So something below 40 millimeters, and this one's 42 millimeters. And so you can find some that are coming out of Asia that if you like 42 or 40 millimeters better, you can find some pretty good deals. Of course, if you live in Asia and you like them bigger, that's okay too. Anyway, those are some things I think that a couple brands, Blancpain and Chopard, both I think are good watches. I told too many people too many times I'm not crazy about silicone hairsprings, but I can live with it. Okay, let me know what you think. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on this, and whether you have one of the other brands of the watches. This is an opportunity to subscribe if you like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.